Sharash Ibar, and I'll give you the backstory once we get it up on the screen. How can I do this? All right, let me do this. Let me see if it doesn't work this way, I go back to the old way. But let me try this. All right, I'm gonna try this new for some reason. And all right, oh man, I don't like that. I don't like that. All right, let me see this. All right. So, how's it sharing? Okay. So this is our Sharash Ibar. For the people new in the chat, please don't be frustrated or intimidated. This language that we're learning, our language of antiquity, is very easy. We start on the right side of the screen. So that top word is Sharash. The first glyph is looks like an E that's on his back. Those are two front teeth, and that's the Shah sound. In the middle, you see the head of a man, and that's our Ra sound. And then you see the Shah again, and we know in between our letters is a short A sound, so we say Sharash. And you can see the head of a man, the Ra sound. That's where the pagans, starting with the Greeks, they got their R sound. And so the nations are learning how to speak, read, and write from us, the Jews, the Hebrews. The bottom word is Ibar. That is one of our ancestors who was the grandfather, I believe, of Abraham or Shem. I think he's our progenitor. So Ibar is who we really are. The word Hebrew is I call it, it's a Ebonic word. It's a made up word. No one from the ancient world knows what a Hebrew is. If you say Ibaryam, they're going to understand you're saying you come from Ibar. So Sharash Ibar is, to just keep it simple, is Hebrew roots. Hebrew roots, and this is where we learn our language, which pretty much sets our culture. Um, those of you who are veterans, you know we're just comparing the ancient actual pictographs in red at the top with the second generation of those stick figures in the brown box. And for those who are new, what we're pointing out here, when you move away from the red letters and move to those stick figures, you lose the true context of what's being said. And this word in the brown box is how they turned us into Hebrews. The first character you see, it looks like a old-fashioned Afro pick for those of us who grew up in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. That it's not an Afro pick, it's a H sound. And most times when we put a H in front of a word, it acts as the English the. So when you see a ha, most times it's like the. So the three glyphs inside the circle inside the red box, those are equivalent to the red letters I, Ba, Ra. So that whole phrase in the brown box is Hi Ibarya. And the pagans turned that word into Hebrew. So Hebrew is just, it's Ebonics. No one knows what a Hebrew is in the ancient world. We are the High Ibaryam. High Ibaryam. We are the Hebrews. To keep it simple, just pointing out here, as you see the green lines pointing to the English letters. The English letters are derived from our writings. They want to say that we copied off the Canaanites, and that's not necessarily true. The Canaanite language is close to ours, but the Most High gave us our language. He gave the language back to Abraham. So this is how we unlock the scrolls, and I'm going to give you another live case study today, how this is very powerful when you learn the ancient hieroglyphs. So here's today's word. It's a positive word. It's going to be two. This is our just declaration. Is we're not trying to be, snobbish. We're not trying to impress people. It's just as you're going to see today. I have a live case study from this previous week. The Bible we're reading, all the texts we're reading, even the Apocrypha, they're based on Israelite scrolls. And if you don't understand the Israelites' way of life, you're not going to understand the scrolls. It just, even the parables about the 10 foolish virgins, that's a Hebrew custom, the way they did that marriage ceremony. So if you don't understand our customs, you're really not going to understand the scriptures, and that's how this false doctrine, this theology from these cemetery schools have crept in and just captivated people's minds, because they don't know the culture, and you're missing these cultural clues that this book called the Bible is all about the Israelite people. Now we're not saying that others can't come in, because even when in the book of Judith I was reading earlier, even when the nations was about to come against us, the strangers who were with us, they started to fast and put on sackcloth with us. So we're not saying you have to be an Israelite to enjoy our covenant or to worship the Most High, but facts are facts. This Bible, this text, they're Israelite scrolls steeped with our culture. So that's all we're saying here. This word, these are two different words at the top there. So get you grab a piece of paper or something. See if you could decode these words. They are well, there's I'll explain once we get there, but give y'all a few seconds here. Sorry. I don't know if y'all seen that yet. Okay, there we go. Spit the truth. And we hit across home. Randy alone. Alright, where's my pause at? Anybody need more time? You good? All right, Mashapak. Try to give you more time. I know Shamaria said he'd be wanting more time. Those who are seasoned, what is the top word? What did you give for the top word?
Dara.
The Ra. The Ra. Yep, the Ra. And the bottom word?
Ahmad.
Tamad. Tamad. So those that are new, it's very simple. We start on the right side of the screen, so that first glyph at the top, it looks like a top hat on it, flipped over. It's actually a picture of a tent door, like the tent door flaps. So, and that's our da sound. And then the second glyph is the head of the man, and that's our ra sound. And again, in between, we know it's a short a. So I I just cut the a off. I didn't just Russian. So we will either say dar or dara. We're not sure yet. When we cut the last syllable off, we won't know until we hear the ancients, Messiah really restore us to our rightful place. But dar or dara is the first word, and then the bottom word, that first glyph, it looks like that Christian cross. That's a ta sound for us. And then the second glyph at the bottom there, it looks like a crazy W. That's actually a picture of water waves. Water waves, and that's the ma sound. That's the ma sound. And then you see the tent door again. That gives us the da sound. And again, it's just tamad. Tamad. So these words are both related to time. And I have a live case study why this learning this language is important. So for those who are still learning, again, please don't feel frustrated or intimidated. Like this is just, it's once you put the time in, it's very very simple. The tent door for a Shemitic person like we are, the tent door has different connotations, and because the tent door, the flap goes back and forth as people go in and out. The tent door could represent being going in and out or coming and going. And then the head of the man can have many connotations too. And so the head of the man can represent a single man, a nation, being first, because the head of a man, the head, you're the head. So it could represent being first, or just on the surface level representing manhood or a nation or a nation. So dar is the coming and going of men, or the coming and going of nations. The coming and going of nations. Okay. And then tamad at the bottom there, the T, the ta for us is just two sticks crossed, and that could represent being marked. Some of our ancestors who never learned how to read or write, they would sign their name with an X. So that X is similar to the tie, and it represents being marked or a seal or a sign. So the tie is being marked. The ma in the middle there is actually representing water. So you're marking the tide. You're marking the tide, and then the da as the tide goes in and out. So tamad, I'm marking how the tide goes in and out, and that's how we track our time for a day. We would know, we as Shemitic people and being agriculturalists, we would be able to look up at the sun and tell you by the sun's position in the sky, we knew how much hours of daylight we had left. And if we were fishermen on the water, we could look at the tide and tell you how much more time we had to fish, because the tide is going in and out. So both of these words are related to time. And Nariah, are you working today, Op?
I'm good.
Okay, you take us to Bamada Bar 15 and 38. Bamada Bar is numbers 15 and 38. And while he's going there, uh, I read a funny post from a brother on social media, Facebook, and he was saying how He posted one of those crazy scrunched up faces from one of the celebrities or something. He was like, my face when people say shalom. And I'm sorry, Salaki family. I'm sitting here talking to y'all. So the post was funny. It was funny, but I still had to comment. And his post was like, my face when I hear people say shalom, and they don't have fringes on. And so, I laugh, but I also put in his comment, I says, the text, and I copied and paste the scriptures. You know how we stand on just give me book. We stand on give me witnesses. So I posted Numbers 15 and 38 for other people to see, because it was Christians as well as Israelites commenting. And some were agreeing with him and some were not. And so I seen what organization he was a part of. So I knew I wasn't going to be able to soften his heart, because I witnessed how his organization moves. But I posted for the benefit of the nation. So I screenshotted Numbers 15:38 and said, the text doesn't say to wear fringes every day. And he shoots back, just say you don't want to wear fringes. And once he responded with that, when I'm posting scripture and you come back with your commentary, that's enough for me. You're not spiritually mature. So let's examine Numbers 15 and 38, and I'm going to show you why this language is so important. Nariah?
Shema. This is Bamadabar, or Numbers chapter 15, verse 38. It says, speak unto the children of Israel and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue.
So this is where we get the commandment from, and I'm so proud that everything we practice, we can show the Most High ordained it. For those who just coming in, I'm not sure where you're at in your walk. I'm not sure if you're still wrestling with Christianity, but what I like about our culture, our covenant, everything we practice, meaning the Torah Group, we can show you a verse where the Most High has sanctioned this. When you go to church, they can't show you why they wear black and white collars. I can show you why they wear black and white collars. They can't show you why they wear neckties. They can't show you where the Most High told us to put on a three-piece suit with some winged shoes on. That's not the culture of the Jews. That's not our. Why are we imitating other people? So this is where we get our commandment from, and it's not part of the command. It's not. How am I gonna say this? This is a ordinance, because the covenant was sprinkled with blood. So this is not a commandment. This is what we would call a statute or ordinance. And he's telling Masha to tell us to put fringes on our clothes. And there's different styles of fringes. And the Most High didn't give instructions how to make them. So you got brothers arguing about what style you should wear, and those ain't really fringes. Brothers, show me the text where the Most High instructed us how to make fringes. You got Israelites as well as Christians just freestyling their doctrine or their theology, and now that's your organizational way of doing things, and that's the only right way, because the way your organization do it. That's what we call a cult. Now, being in a cult, I said this earlier, being in a cult is not a bad thing. Everybody on this call, you are a part of a cult. The first cult you was a part of is your family. The way your family did things was your culture. Your family woke up, had breakfast, your mom, dad hugged and kissed you before you went off to school. That was your family's cult or culture. So being in a cult is not the problem. The problem is when your cult or culture is not ordained by the Most High. Everything we do is ordained by the Most High, and we have a verse to show this. So when I posted this verse, that the verse doesn't say daily, and he barked back, just say you don't want to wear fringes. And I just said, you must be illiterate, so carry on. And I left it at that. Other people started responding after me, agreeing, and it's like, I already seen what organization he was part of. I don't want to embarrass the nation, have two Israelites going back and forth. He came back, so I guess he finally posted a scripture, and he posted a scripture in Matthew where the woman with the issue of blood touched the Messiah's fringes. And again, my flesh was like, exactly my point. You're illiterate. You posted where she touched his hem to prove that we should wear fringes every day, but the text don't say daily. The text right there, it says throughout your generations. That phrase throughout your generation is met with the Hebrew word dar or dara. And because he don't know this language, or again, he just wants to be dogmatic about his organization ways of doing things, dar has a different connotation than tama. Tama actually means daily because you're marking the tide go in and out. That's the tide goes in and out daily. And dar doesn't have the same connotation as daily. Dar means as your people come and go, as the generations are coming, being born, let them know about the ordinance to put on fringes. And for those who are new, if you keep reading, he tells us why. That we can look down and remember the commandments. And those of us who have been around, we know that these fringes, wearing these fringes is practical. It's been many days I've been on the ropes and I look down to my tassels and remember I'm in covenant. That means I got to straighten up and fly right. That means I can't get too relaxed around my coworkers. Even though I like them, they look like me, but I can't get too relaxed because if you get too relaxed, it's easy to fall to the wayside. So these fringes on our clothes are practical and they commanded by the Most High. But this brother and most brothers, they want to use scripture when it benefits them, but then when you press them, you can't show me where the Most High said daily. And because he don't know the difference between dar and tama, he's just going with his organization. So there is a verse where the Most High commanded things to be done daily. There are many verses where he says this is to be done daily. Let's go, Nariah, over to Bamadabar 29 and 6, and we'll show you the difference. Numbers 15:38, he says throughout your generations, or Dara, but Numbers 29 and 6, he commanded this to be done daily. Whenever you're ready, Nariah.
Shamar. This is Bamadabar, or Numbers, chapter 29, verse 6. Beside the burnt offering of the month, and his meat offering, and the daily burnt offering, and his meat offering, and their drink offerings, according unto their manner, for a sweet savor, a sacrifice made by fire unto Yahweh.
The water. So this is explicitly the Most High is telling us do this daily, every day, opposed to Numbers 15:38. He says Dara, meaning just rehearse this throughout the generations. Let them know as my people to be set apart, and so that you don't go to work or go to a movie house, wherever you want to do. We have freedom. The Most High's covenant is not about being a robot. If you want to go to a boxing match, if you want to go to a movie house, you have the freedom to do that. If it's not transgression of the covenant, we have liberty in Messiah to do that. But while you go to these places, be set apart by my commandments and have fringes on your clothes. That way, when you're out to the movie house, when you're out maybe having a beer or a strong drink, you don't get beside yourself and forget about the Most High's covenant. You have your fringes on. So if you do start to get kind of loose, you look down like, whoa, wait a minute. I'm in covenant. I can't move like they moving over there. So opposed to Numbers 29 and 6, he says the burnt offering is to be completed daily. So when you look up these verses in the Blue Letter Bible, Numbers 15 and 38 versus Numbers 29 and 6, those two time references are satisfied with different Hebrew words. Dar or Dara is for throughout your generations. Tamad is daily. And because he don't understand what these glyphs are saying, let me go back. He doesn't understand the difference between Dar and Tamad. He's just running with his organizational ways of doing things. So this is the power and freedom of really putting in the time to learn your covenant. Because even inside this I hate using that term awakening because it's been so stretched out now. It's just that term is very loose. You got people claiming they're part of the awakening and they're still moving like church people. So even inside our community of people in the states who know we are the original Jews, the Israelites, and we're doing the best we can to practice the covenant, you still have people just want to add to the text or contort the text to fit their organization way of doing things. And we're not going to do that here. We're going to all produce witnesses, and when the text is not explicit, we seek the Most High, and Most High give us understanding and help us keep your covenant. So I just wanted to share this. I just keep getting live case studies where people, even Israelites, because they're not learning this language, they don't really understand the scriptures. They don't understand the scriptures. So if you ever felt convicted because you didn't have your fringes on, the Most High didn't say daily. Okay, when He wants something done daily, that He explicitly says every day or daily. When He says just for the nation, He says teach this to the nations. So that's what